Hi, so today we're going to be talking about VR, sim racing, and whether or not using VR and sim racing can help you in your sim racing career as well as your real life driving career. Short answer is yes, but I would actually like to explain to you why. So just to preface everything, VR has been out for a while now. The first Oculus was actually released in 2012, so about 8 years ago. It was actually in August, so we're a little bit over that. But it has definitely come a long way from the constant screen door effect that you used to get from the earlier models all the way up to now. Now we're on the Oculus Quest 2, which is the one that is sort of going to be our star of the video today. I would also like to say that as VR has been out a while, the prices for it have actually gotten a lot cheaper. Some of the earlier models would cost about as much as a gaming PC at the time, so I believe around $600 or $700. As time went on, the Oculus Quest I think is actually the cheapest one on the market right now, brand new, at $299. So after picking up the Oculus Quest 2, I figured I'd actually just make a video because I think that I've had it for about a week and I can see where people are coming from when they have setups that are solely just VR racing. And so I thought I should make a video on, whether or not it's actually worth it. And so to start off, I would have to say that the number one thing about VR that I love so far is that it allows you to look at where you want to go and not where you're going. And now to people who have never been in racing or haven't been in racing for long, this is something that may sound a little bit weird, but this is what they teach you on like the first day of racing school. Now, if you take a look at this clip that's on the screen right now, the theory behind what I just said is that when you are constantly looking towards the next turn, you give your brain ample amount of time to sort of process what you need to do in order to get through said turn properly. What most people do is they actually look at where they're going, and by the time you're through this first left-hander here, the second left-hander is pretty much already there because everything in racing is so fast. So you basically want to give your brain as much time as possible to process everything, and the best way to do that is to look into where you actually need to be going. On a single monitor like the one I have, this becomes sort of hard to do because of the short aspect ratio that you have, but obviously in VR, your vision is about, I believe, 260. I believe it's like 90 degrees per eye. I am probably completely wrong. All I know is it's wider than the 16:9 aspect ratio you get on a regular monitor or even on a triple monitor setup you have. Another thing that using VR helps you with that also pans over to real life is distance and depth perception. The first thing I noticed, which this was like probably the weirdest feeling in VR, is that you can get really, really close to things, and because it's right up at your eye, it really does feel like you can touch it. I'm not trying to be cliche or anything here, but you definitely do have an improved depth perception and a distance perception. And so when you're driving, this really comes into play when you're going into a turn with not very visible braking points or no braking points at all. You can more easily eyeball where you need to be braking if you have that depth perception that a flat panel monitor wouldn't give. I think a good analogy to sort of illustrate what I mean by all of this is that a flat panel monitor is pretty much like a board that things are sort of coming at you in or at, while VR is sort of like you're inside of a sphere and everything is coming around you instead of just at you in your face. Now this is number 3, and I gotta say this was probably the biggest reason as to why I jumped back into VR, because this isn't my first VR headset. I had a Vive. Screen door effect was really bad. I didn't like it very much. I couldn't see, and so I just had to return it. But I'm going right back to the Quest because I found out there was pretty much none. But besides all of that, the affordability that VR is now, it is going to be cheaper than, I would say it's actually cheaper than any triple monitor headset that you get that is decent. Obviously, you can go out and buy $100 monitors, $300 monitors, and you're still going to come up with the price of the VR. So you might as well just get the VR because it runs 4K. The monitors, on the other hand, are going to take up a ton of space. With some setups, people actually have stands in their house that are about like yay big to hold these triple monitors. Typically, it isn't something that you can just put on a desk. You have to like break away your sim and everything from your main workspace in order to house this whole setup here. But with VR, with the Quest, I can literally just like, look at this, boop, done. We're done here. That's all I gotta do. When I'm done with it, I like, okay, you know what? Here, let me show you something that's really cool. Okay, so I just got done racing, and because my room is only like 12 by 12 feet, I don't have space for a triple monitor headset. Now, all I've got is the desk that's pretty much sitting right in front of me here off camera. All I gotta do when I'm done is this. Done. All the space. I still have tons of space to put the light box that I'm using to record this video. I have tons of space for my second monitor that I have off camera here, and a speaker setup and all of that, as well as the racing sim that's here as well. But if I had the triple monitor setup, I actually did. I brought a TV up here and it was too small, which made me get that. My mind was sort of blown at how well it works and how well it fits into my life in a small living space. Granted, most people have a bigger bedroom than I do. And so while they may be able to house the triple monitor setup, again, the price is not something that you're going to beat. It runs 4K. It's going to be able to run at 90 hertz, which is about what most monitors run at. I have like a gaming one, it runs at 144. But right now it runs at 75 hertz. They're going to fix it. They're going to update it because most of the games on their market runs at 75, but that's just a software update away. So those were probably the three biggest reasons why I would say if you had to choose between the triple monitor setup or a VR headset, let's say the Oculus Quest 2, I would get the Quest 2 because you get two things. You unlock two things, or you unlock more than the three things on this list. You've got better immersion into video games. You are never going to get more immersive than VR when it comes to that, besides like some Sword Art Online stuff, and that is just nowhere near being around the corner in terms of technology. You also, besides, using it for just sim racing, you still have the controllers here, which are decent. Not the best, I will say, especially if you're playing gun games, because these triggers have kind of a latency, not a latency. They have like it's a delay. So you can still play other VR games on it, like Half-Life Alyx, Pavlov, or VR Chat. So it's not just that you have to use this for sim racing alone. And plus, with this system, you don't need any light towers or anything. So that is a huge plus. Anyways, this video was definitely pretty short. I hope it wasn't too much information. This isn't going to be the last video about the Quest 2. I'm just going to do a separate video about the pros and cons there. I gotta say though, after a week of trying it out, I don't actually have that many cons at all about the system. I think most of my problems that I've been running into just come with my current PC setup. So that is strictly my fault. That is not the problem of the system at all. But anyways, as said in the intro, if you like this video, please consider subscribing. My last video with the Fanatec that I did got like 10,000 views, but for whatever reason, nobody is subscribing. That kind of irks me. Please fix that. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice one.